told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away.
What is going on, everyone?
What up? What up?
So that means it's fight night. No. It's another episode of Dope Dynamics brought to you by DJ Cincy Star, your man Steve, the Hold Up TV, DaVinci of the Feminists Are Up, and the Pink Princess, Max herself. Our co-hosts are running a little late, but no need to keep y'all waiting. I figured me and Cincy could just start tapping in a little early. Make sure we're engaging the chat. Shout out to Grandpa Fro, Timmy, and Liv Who Waits, Minnie Pearl, and anyone else that's in here. If you want to give a shout out, let me know you're in. If I didn't acknowledge you, I do apologize. How you doing, my brother?
Oh, I am doing great. Man, it was a good day, despite the rain. Been watching hoops since I got home from work. So
been watching hoops, man. Yeah. That basketball gonna ruin your mind, man. You need to be watching a real man sport like cricket. International cricket. Are you keeping up with the hockey at all, my brother?
All I know is that the Avalanche came back from something. No, I don't really keep up with hockey, man.
Yeah, neither do I.
I tried to go.
I know the Rangers are playing some people, and I'm just like, yeah. But if this is your first time tuning in to Dope Dynamics, this DJ Cincy Star's brainchild here on the Hold Up TV. But we want to give a quick shout out to the DT Dub Nation. Look out for the new merch on its way, brought to you by DT Dub TV on YouTube. Go check it out. Great gaming commentary with a lot of fun, a lot of toxicity, just the way we love things here.
Absolutely.
Why my shit keeps spinning? Y'all on YouTube too? Yes, we are. In fact, if you're having Twitch issues, you head on over to the tube. The tube is always a good look. And yeah. So we got some topics tonight, man. We're gonna be talking about the very controversial topic of simping. What is a simp? What qualifies you as a simp? Are simps chauvinist in simp clothing? Then we're gonna be talking about the unearthing of a church in Ethiopia. So I'm sure that's gonna get colorful. Dragon Lady, how the heck are you? Okay. If you're familiar with church history at all, you'll understand these things. That I believe it was the Apostle Matthew that evangelized to the Ethiopians, and so I'm looking to see where it's taking this thing, man. He's always trying to come at me with the Hotep discrediting Christianity. Here's the crazy thing about this, right? Because we gotta kill some dead air until our co-hosts get here. And then DaVinci's topic tonight: are men, in fact, the ones who talk too much? Recent studies show that men actually talk more than women. Doesn't surprise me at all, but we're going to get into that, see where that conversation takes us. And Bex wants to talk about, and I'm enthralled by this conversation. It's going to be a very lighthearted show. Speaking of simps, no, I'm just joking. Joe Budden wants to see more diversity in one of America's biggest melting pots, a critical place of exchange of ideas and thought, truly the place where the great minds meet. Joe Budden says there's not enough diversity in strip clubs. The dancer, he's fighting for more black women to be up in them strip clubs performing.
Oh Lord!
The civil rights movement is not dead. We're bringing you a little dumbing out on Wednesday.
She is putting in her best audition tape to get put on dumbing out.
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to come through and see everything that is unholy, come to Dumbing Out on Tuesdays, brought to you by DJ Cincy Star and myself. Hold Up TV on Mixcloud. Always a good time, always offensive, and always off the hook. Any honorable mentions you want to get into while we're waiting for these two to show up?
You know what? I do want to give my own personal shout out to DT Tub because he definitely has a piece of clothing on there, a really dope looking hoodie that has both the Dope Dynamics logo and the Hold Up TV
logo.
He gives out Enough Said Radio and Power Love Latina. So it feels great to be, a part of that inaugural launch he's got with his with his merch.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to drop a link for DT Dub in the chat so you can go ahead and support him and his channel and that movement over there, man. Serge says he must ain't been to Atlanta in regards to the the civil rights movement Joe's trying to lead for the
yeah.
So you know, I don't want to. I'm not going to steal any of the topics, man. But you know, what do you think? Did you watch the video for the simping? Did you watch that at all?
I did. It was the
Okay,
first one
okay.
I watched. I probably should have completely rewatched it this afternoon, but yeah, I did watch it when you posted it up there.
And what were your thoughts, my brother?
You know, I don't want to be the judge of who this simp is. I think is what I got after that, but you know.
Well, why don't we
simping is simping, man.
Why don't we let the audience enjoy? It's not a long video. It's 6 minutes, so we can that's a great way to get this thing going. We'll get into the simping conversation here. Bro, 5 signs you are subtly simping. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I don't know what just happened there.
Oh shit, we're in a fucking multiverse. We have 2 Steves on the screen. What the hell is going on? Oh shit.
Yo, I guess. So I'm just gonna play the audio. Hopefully everyone can hear it.
Are you a simp? It's happening nowadays. And can you expect to have any amount of attraction and actually get the girl if you show any simp behaviors? In this video, I'm going to give you 5 subtle signs that
let me know if can you hear it, Cincy?
Behavior, and it'll ruin your chances of ever attracting a girl. The word simp has been thrown around a lot lately, and with good reason. More than ever, so many women are selling their attention and their bodies for money. I mean, yeah. But this idea of catering to a woman to really get her affection isn't really new. It's not a new phenomenon. I mean, back in the day, a whole 7-8 years ago, it was called being a beta or a white knight. The whole mindset behind this is like, okay, you know, women say they want to be treated nicely. They complain about a-holes. Therefore, if I show a woman that I am a nice guy, that I will treat them nicely, that I'll be just nice to them. Like I'll be, I'll give them positive emotions. I'll treat them well. I'll give them back massages. I'll buy them what they want, that they should like me. I mean, it makes a logical sense in our mind. And this culture, which has been reinforced by society, has led to a lot of misinformed men. And look, I have to admit something to you.
Oh, it's hard to admit. It's hard to admit.
I'm a recovering simp. I used to be a simp myself. And there were 5 signs that I'm going to show you right now that I didn't realize was simp behavior that was completely causing a girl to see me as this nice little friend. A guy that just wasn't someone she would view to have sex with, to be in a relationship with, to have any sort of attraction for. So what causes a simp? Well, it's actually quite simple. Okay, sorry, that I had to do one of those, just one of those. I'm sorry. Okay, we'll get into the rest. So the first sign you are showing any simp behavior is that you are commenting anything on her social media posts. I mean, literally. So the other day, I was
just crashing on me.
Debate with this girl I'm dating, and she said we had a scenario where, you know, if you're hitting on a girl as a waitress, so she's a waitress herself, right? So I said between 2 scenarios of a guy who's trying to hit on a girl as a waitress, you could either, she thinks the best way is to leave a massive tip and then your number saying, hey, call me, you know, I like your service, whatever, right? And I'm arguing that that actually causes you to be viewed as a simp or a guy who would provide for her without even knowing the guy. And I say the best way to actually get a girl's number that is waitressing is to walk up to her when she gives you the bill, or just be like, look,
I know this is weird. I know you probably get this a lot, but look, I find you really attractive. I don't come here often, and there's not really other chance to really talk to you. I'd love to get your number and text you, and maybe we can get a drink sometime somewhere else.
By talking to her and by not leaving money to show your value, it is showing that you are valuable enough that you don't need to give her something in order to talk to her. I mean, the same thing happens when you see a girl at the bar and you immediately buy her a drink instead of getting to know her first. When you buy
still frozen?
Drink, that's sub-communicating to her that like, I need to give you
I'm moving around
to talk to you because me, myself,
what's up, Carmen?
I'm not enough. And it's also
What
a
up,
sign
D?
that I'll provide for you, right? And that's very simpish behavior. Instead, recognize that you and her are equal. I mean, hell, you can get the girl to buy you a drink, or you don't have to. It's just the point of the matter is that you don't need to give her something of value other than yourself at first. The third sign you are a simp is that you never challenge or tease her. Look, the basis of all flirting is this up and down range of emotions. And the way you create that naturally is by being yourself. And because you are yourself, you're going to argue with a girl about certain things. You have no problem going towards conflict. And a simp, oh my God, conflict is like the kryptonite for a simp, right? Conflict kryptonite. That's a good expression. A simp thinks that if I tease the girl, she won't like me anymore. She'll think that I'm mean and she just won't want to talk to me. And I need the girl to talk to me. You see what I mean? Guys that are simps are never teasing, never challenging the girl. A girl likes that spike of emotion. And as a man yourself, you create that by simply owning who you are, owning what you like. A simp caters to the girl's worldview. The fourth sign that you are subtly simping for a girl is that you are thinking about what she wants more than what you want. You know, the other day I was working with a client and he was constantly in his head about this girl he was talking to. And he was trying to figure out, like, does she want to have sex? Does she want a relationship? I don't know what she wants. That whole premise is coming from the illusion that it's not important what he wants. As a man, this isn't selfish. You have to know what you want. You have to know your boundaries. You have to know your needs as a man. Are you wanting a long-term relationship? Do you see her as just someone to have sex with? Go with what you want instead of trying to cater to what she wants. See, when you do this, you come from a place of abundance. Simps are over here in scarcity land thinking about, what does the girl want from me? How am I going to change who I am to meet her needs? As a man, you know exactly what you want from the girl, and you go try to get that met. You try to find girls that meet your standard, that can give you what you want in your needs. That way you're more selective and therefore more higher value. The final simp behavior, number 5, is that you watch porn. Now, what porn does is it gives you this illusion that girls are objects to be obtained. Now, you would think that it would be the opposite with simps, right? That actually guys that are more objectifying women or that degrade them are really the ones that are not simps. They're the extreme opposite of what a simp might be. However, let me show you exactly how watching porn leads to becoming a simp. You see, when you watch porn, you are objectifying women. But what happens is that you start to see women as this thing that's on a pedestal, this thing to be achieved. And naturally, when it's something that you want and you see that you don't have it, they become this sexual object. When you go to talk to the girl, you are implicitly under them, which creates all those previous 4 simp-like behaviors I've talked about. However, if you stop watching porn and you see women more as an equal human being, they're not something that you can just simply get from them. They're actually someone that you can actually talk to on an equal level. When you meet them from that place of equality, you can connect with them more on a deeper level. Now, if you need help yourself to quit watching porn or to change any of these other simp behaviors, set up a free call with me. I'll help you uncover those beliefs to change them for good. Watch this other video on simping right here. You know I love you. And, I'll see you next time. See you.
So you unheard the man. Unhand yourself and turn that porn off, you simp. Cincy, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts?
He really did take his good time making that video. You can tell it was well thought out. You could probably tell that his admission to being a simp, he's probably still a simp.
All right, so let's let the audience define what a simp is first. And I just want to say that my share feature was definitely working before Mantis went live earlier in the Hold Up TV studio. Who knows what he touched or what setting he messed up? So as usual, I'm blaming all things wrong on Mantis. Panel members, audience members, what is a simp? How do you define it? Because I think sometimes, and actually to the Twitch algorithm, I am not calling anyone a simp because you can't use that word on Twitch. I don't know if you didn't know that. There was a whole controversy that kicked off about, I would say 2 years ago, where it was one of the words you get hit for. But what I understand a simp to be, it's short for a simpleton, someone that is simply acting a fool for the attention or affections of a woman, and doing so in a less than honorable or truthworthy way. So I believe that there are nice guys out there. I'm a nice guy. You're a nice guy, right? Nice guys does not necessarily mean that you're not a doormat, right? You're just a man that prides honor. Would you say you're an honorable man, Cincy?
Yes, for the most part, I am. Yes.
Yeah, keep your word to the best of your ability. Don't overpromise so you don't underdeliver. Taking into account the needs of others, not necessarily placing them above yourself. I do put the needs of my family before myself, but that's not simping. That's just being a good dad and a husband. A simp is someone I think that works his way into a group of women, right? He's that weird guy you hear your girlfriend talking about. Who the fuck is Mark? Where did he come from? And he's like, oh, let's go out and have cosmopolitans. Oh, I watch Sex in the City too. Me. You know what I'm saying? Do you think that's a simp?
I prefer the definition that you just gave over basically everything that man just said.
Let me ask the audience. Drop your definitions of a simp. Carmen wants to know what a white knight is. So a white knight is a slur, Carmen. You might hear DT Dub say it, and I think we need to distinguish, right? Because there's a difference between being a white knight, someone that just rides into the rescue of women at any time, and then we got to talk about why is that a negative thing. I mean, I'm sure since you have a sister, I have a sister, and I believe that if someone was coming at your sister crazy, you would jump in there in the fray, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, and just like if one of my homegirls is, some dude's barking at her, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, you obviously are giving that energy to the wrong person. I'm gonna slide her out the way and be like, why don't me and you talk about it? But what is white knighting? What do you think that is, man?
I mean, white knighting is, at least for me, the way I see it is when you're jumping in there, to defend this woman or a group of women when they're not really in need of your defense, and doing so with the idea that it's going to somehow elevate you to a different standing with that woman. So for example, in the example you gave, me doing that for my sister is not white knighting. Like, it's my sister. Like, I have nothing to gain. I'm just gonna beat your ass because you're messing with my sister.
Yeah, you
we can get into it. Excuse me. Yeah, like that's different. But if you're going all out just to like impress a woman and you're overreacting because she doesn't really need defended in the first place, like what?
Right.
Yeah, I would see that as a white knight.
Yeah, like, okay, so here's a for instance. Let's see if we can work. So for me, a white knight is, I agree with your definition, man. Someone always sliding into the rescue where there is no rescue needed. In fact, you are proving the feminist right that you have some view of women that they're inferior, they can't stand the ground. I will say I don't think white knighting is stopping physical violence from happening to a woman, but there are situations where you got to use your discernment. I'm probably jumping in 9 times out of 10. No matter what, I see some dude going Magilla Gorilla style on a woman, I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna at least break it up. You know what I'm saying? And then if he starts to square up on me, then we'll handle that check when, the waiter brings it. But a white knight is also someone in the social networking area who is always jumping up in the forum, defending women when this is the most important thing. They are wrong. Right? If a woman has made an invalid point, if she said something and no one's calling her out her name, no one's attacking her personal character, and then here comes this mug, swinging in out of nowhere. talking about his mother and the women that raised him, and they don't have anything to do with the conversation. I'm like, well, wait, she just said she did a bunch of scandalous stuff. Does your mother do that stuff? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Why are we talking about your mother? How did you get into the conversation? That's a white knight for me. And I got energy for those guys, but I got energy for the women who don't stop that white knighting, right? It's all equal now. Cincy, did you get the memo?
Yeah, I didn't get that memo, but you know, I'm hearing you. Yeah, I'm hearing you.
You didn't get the memo about equality? That didn't come through the email?
I don't think we got the same emails on equality. Mine might have been worded a little bit.
I CC'd you in it, so you know you gotta check that out. I probably sent it to your AOL account. So here's the thing, right? It's equal now, right? In the realm of social discourse, women, I'm not talking about physical getting them up, and I know some women that train, you know, they'll put paws on you, but even they will tell you, like, I'm not trying to fight no man that's like got me by 150 pounds. Like, my best bet in that scenario is to evade and get out the way. You know, I just want to make sure women know that even the most well-trained woman isn't going to take on a 300-pound man. And you know what I'm saying? It's just not realistic. But in the realm of social discourse, women are more than capable of defending themselves. So I don't know if there are any people in here that disagree with that sentiment. I wish we could have found a white knight to bring up here, you know what I'm saying, and be like, hey, could you explain it? But let's assume their point. Why do you think these guys will white knight for women?
I mean, it's kind of like the alternative to being another type of person we've talked on here before, to an incel. It's like a mechanism you use when you don't actually know how to properly communicate with women, in my opinion. And I think a few of us have seen that firsthand.
Berlin says it's because they get no box. Like what, the Taco Bell box? What type of box you talking about?
I want to jump in here real quick. I know we're not supposed to be clowning too much, but you said you had a $9 Taco Bell box the other day.
Yeah,
that joint is $6.50 here.
$6.50? No, what came in yours? I got like 5 things in my
yeah. I got the nachos. I got some type of cheesy gordita chalupa looking thing, a taco, a burrito, and a drink.
See, you know what the problem is? You live in Cincinnati, right? And you're going to make the case that inflated living in New York, but I'm going to make the counter case, which is the food that makes it to Cincinnati comes after it gets to New York. So who knows how old that food was you were eating? So they were like, let's give it to them more. Let's give it to them for $6.50. Yeah, I dropped a link in there. Seeing as we're still waiting on our other panel members. If they don't show up, me and Cincy will definitely carry the show. But I dropped the link in there. If anyone wants to call in and give us their experience, I would prefer to hear from the ladies on their opinions about simping. But here's why this is a problem, man. And it all has to do with self-respect. You know what I'm saying? I want people to have self-respect. You know what I'm saying? I feel that women respond to a man that has respect for himself and her. You don't have to diminish yourself to show a woman that you respect her, right? I think there's this thing that happens when, you know, and I think the one thing that he did highlight in the video is how disingenuous it could be to use the approach of the nice guy, right? If that's not really who you are, like pretending to be this, you know, lovable Chandler-like character, or what was the dude's name from Living Single? Overton, yeah. Pretending to be one of these guys, man, where you just have no opinions, no thoughts of your own, and you get into a relationship, you're actually being quite deceitful because that woman is taking you face value, man. You pretend to worship everything she says, everything she does, and then, you know, once you guys get physically intimate, your real personality starts to show. Or maybe it's not when you get physically intimate. Maybe it's as the relationship progresses and you can't keep that act up. So then you stop being a nice guy and you become a passive aggressive idiot. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? That resonate with you, man?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I see. The hard part about defining something like a simp is because the word gets thrown around so much. I think that people that do it genuinely also get thrown in the simp category.
Yes. Speak on it, brother.
And so I feel like that's an issue because a lot of those things he was saying, like if you are being genuine when you do those things, that doesn't really make you a simp. Like, you're just being one, generous if you have it like that. Two, just showing her that you are trying to go out of your way to give her attention. I don't think is a bad thing because if you just, play the role everybody else is playing, you're just going to get lumped up in the same category as everybody else. So, yeah, I would say I very much agree that doing it dishonest is, an issue, but the problem with defining the word is that we're putting everybody that's doing it in that category, not just the people who are doing it dishonestly.
No, but I mean, very true. And I don't want to do that because, like I said at the onset, man, I really do believe, like, I consider myself the type of guy where, I've made no secret of this. My wife and I don't agree on a great deal of many political stances. And there are a lot of things we do, some things we do agree on. But my point always is from the moment we were dating until, marriage up until today, I don't have to agree with everything my wife says for me to value her. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to worship her for me to have a never-ending well of love for her. For me, worship is a very specific thing. Like, so instead of saying worship, I cherish my wife. I view my wife as a living, breathing gift given to me by God. A gift that disagrees with me every chance she gets, but still a gift nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? And she has proven to be that. But I don't worship her. I don't, I enjoy conversation with her because I actually value the things she has to say. I'm not pretending to care, even if I disagree. I actually only will debate or have a conversation with someone with opposing views if I have respect for them. If I don't respect for you, you try to engage me in a debate, I'm be like, what? Get out of here with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you're right. I think we lump all those guys together. Let's talk about the porn part, though, man. The adult content, if you will, for those. This is an 18+ stream. If you're not 18, I suggest you run now. So that was an interesting point he made about the adult content.
Yes, it was. It's also the second week in a row that someone has blamed pornography on shit that it has nothing to do with.
What do you mean, man? Porn's the center of all evils in the world, right? You don't think? Okay, so to his point that if you're watching porn, you're a simp because it gives you an unrealistic view of what women are. You're objectifying that, you're objectifying women. You're seeing them as merely a thing to please. And then there's always that psychological aspect that people have explored the porn where it, disenfranchises, disillusions people to make them think that that's what sex is like. What do you think, man?
No, I don't agree with that because, well, I should say I don't agree with that on a whole because I think most people that actually come outside don't do that. And the same with people, I've seen someone just brought up music videos and we can go to movies and music in general, all that. The people who actually go outside, live their lives, have real personal interactions in oxygen that is shared with other people. Do not watch porn and think this is how the world works. I think the people that watch porn or that exhibit simpish behavior or create an unrealistic view of women or men, if we're going to apply simping to women as well,
right,
is they're just going to have that because they don't know who women are at that point. I mean, I can tell you one, you know what? I shouldn't even say it that far because I know from my first relationship, or I know from even just a mother-son relationship that shit is unrealistic. Like, no. It doesn't make sense to think that this is how all women are.
Yeah, here's the crazy thing. I love that you brought the female simp in it because well, that's let's just keep to the guys for a second. There are no women up here to defend the women point of view, but yeah. So my issues with pornography are personal, and it has nothing to do with simping. I mean, you know, it has more to do with the effect it has on people, right? You know, porn addiction, things of that nature, right? I don't know where he's going with this, and I'm not going to pretend like this was the most advanced. Though I understand the point he was trying to make, that you don't see them as living, breathing things. But in that, I feel like he kind of ran into his own definition of a simp. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, wait, hold on for a second. Let me choose my words carefully, right? There's one litmus test you can use from my vantage point to really see if someone's simping over a woman, and it always stands true. This is the only thing I use. If he cannot disagree with this woman on any level, not only is he a simp, but he's completely lost, in my opinion. That is the only thing, the only way I could ever check and see if a guy's a simp. What's up, Bex?
Hello.
How was your day?
It was good. How was your day?
It was good. We're just talking about these simp fools out here, you know.
We're on the simps.
We're on the simps. We had to get it cracking. Bex, you got any simps? Anyone telling you are a queen, a treasure from the continent of Africa to be valued and never disagreed with?
Well, duh.
Since his face. Stop reading that chat, man. What's a simp to you, Bex? What is your definition of a simp?
My definition of a simp is, if you let me walk all over you, then you a simp. It's straight like that. If you let me do whatever the fuck I want to do and you don't tell me no, then you a simp. But I like simps though.
See, there you go. Well, let me ask you this question. Can you be in a long-term relationship with a simp?
No. I might as well be in a relationship with myself.
Yeah. So what's the difference between a nice guy and a simp, Bex?
I feel like a nice guy knows how to say no. Simps don't.
But what if the woman doesn't? Are we in a place right now where women shouldn't hear no, Bex? It's queen culture time. It's queen culture.
I hate the word, but something's wrong with me. So, I mean, tell me no, but don't tell me no. We'll talk about that later. We'll unpack that later.
Let's unpack it now. Tell me no, but don't tell me no. So what does that mean? Like a soft no? Where do we? What are you saying? Describe that.
I mean, I like to argue. So yeah. You can tell me no, and we can have like our little argument or whatever. But at the end of the day, we're gonna shift that to a yes. Yeah, I got you. I don't think there's anything wrong with hearing the word no, right? And it's just a part of healthy conversation development. Like, for instance, right? Like, no means no. Like, I should be able to say, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go see this person. I don't care how long you've known them. I don't want to go. Like, no, I don't agree with you. Is that a deal breaker? I don't think those are deal breakers in relationships, though. Like, if a woman tells me no, yeah, saying the word no. No, it's not a deal breaker. You're not a simp, Steve. So
I know that. I wish I had simps, though. I don't know what that world would be like, where it's just have a bunch of people just agreeing with me all the time. It would be amazing. Lainey and Mantis were talking about cults, and I think cults are primarily made up of simps.
That makes sense.
All right, so okay, let me throw a harder one out for you two right now. Right? Have you ever simped over someone? Have you completely foregone your opinion and your worth to follow and cherish someone to the point of never saying no or telling them they're wrong?
No, my hood won't let me do that. No.
Cincy? Any
No, I don't believe so. But that's the thing though. There's a lot of that stuff that he named, like that. I say I've done some of that stuff, but it didn't come from a place of like trying to overly impress or be somebody that I wasn't. That's just nice. I don't think being nice to women makes me a simp.
I don't think so either. But all right, so let's talk about then how the word simp has been used wrongly. Chat, participate, please. How are some of the ways do you think people use that word wrongly? Like, what is your estimation, Bex? What are ways it's used improperly?
Russell is not a simp, okay?
Who?
Russell.
Who the hell is Russell?
Russell Wilson.
Oh, Russell Wilson.
That's how it's been used wrong. They keep calling that man a simp, and he's not a simp. That is a nice man.
Listen, I don't think Russell Wilson is a simp either. I just think he's the type of man that a lot of people don't see in the public eye a lot. Like when he said that he was willing to pay for Future's kids to go to college, people are like, why would you do something like that? And I'm like, well, it's his money. If he chooses to do a charitable act like that because one of his children with Sierra shares a bloodline with those kids, why? What? Well, wait, hold on for a second. No, they don't actually. They have nothing to do with each other. They have nothing to do. Wait, does she have kids with? Does she have a kid with Future before they got together?
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, one of his siblings. Yeah, he'll pay for college. Okay, I don't see anything wrong with that. Cincy, what do you think? What's wrong use of the word simp? What do you think about that?
I mean, the wrong, like I was saying earlier, the wrong use of the word simp is someone that's actually, being genuine when they're doing the list of the original 4 things he named before he got the porn. Like,
oh yeah,
let me say this: like, if someone is buying you at a drink at the bar, which he called simping, why do I need to have a conversation with you before I buy a drink if I'm going to use the drink as an icebreaker in the conversation?
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm not against that, man. I'm not against like the old school, hey, can I get you a drink? Because that is the conversation started right there, right? I think things got so topsy-turvy where you can't offer a woman a drink. Now, I guess the opposite of that would be, is it simping to buy her and her friends drinks?
I don't think so.
If it ain't simping if you got it, right? I'm not even sure these qualifications apply to like out. I'm gonna be real with you, man. The first time I heard this term was in a gaming context. It's always been centered around Twitch and YouTube activity, and then it kind of blew up and it started making its way into other conversations. But I don't know. I just don't see men who have money who are willing to lavish women with all types of financial gifts and affection. I don't know if they would care if you were calling them a simp. Like, do you really think Russell Wilson cares if people call him a simp because he treats his wife good? Now, I would prefer if Sierra and that other one would stop twerking on these damn videos as married women, but they ain't my wives, so ain't nothing I can do about it. It's just, I think that's where people start attacking him because she's out here twerking at a gas station in front of guys that ain't him.
Who's the other one?
She is a dancer. Dancers are gonna dance. Jesus.
I mean, yeah,
dancers
are gonna dance, but does she have to twerk in front of men at a gas station?
Like, would anybody know Sierra if she wasn't twerking? I mean, and I'm not saying like publicly now. I'm saying, would anybody even know who Sierra was if she didn't twerk?
Yes.
From the very get. No. Because you're thinking right now, if this was 2000 and Sierra never twerked a day in her life, no one would know who Sierra was.
See, but you're making a false comparison there, man. I'm talking about a married woman, right? A married woman.
So you're asking a married woman to stop being herself. That's an issue.
Whoa, hold on for a second. I'm asking her to stop being herself or stop twerking in front of motherfuckers in a gas station.
She's been twerking in front of people since 2003.
Brother, you're making excuses.
That's literally her entire career.
You're making excuses for it.
That's like telling Russell Wilson to stop playing football on game days that are broadcasted.
You see what you just did there? So I made a.
You don't think women lust after men on?
You're simping right now. You're simping right now.
I think you're tripping. I think you're tripping right now.
Because you're like it went over your head. I made a moral claim about what a married woman should not be doing, and then you compared Russell Wilson playing football to that. Does he do anything immoral or that disrespects his wife while he's on the field?
I'm suggesting that if we're going to start using simping incorrectly, you're
Hold
simping
on,
because you're uncomfortable. And wait, hold on. No, Steve. Is she dancing on other men?
Dancing in front of other men, random men in the gas station. Like I said, she ain't my wife, but I definitely would have been like
dancer, and you're putting laws on.
Wait, hold on.
Being a wife at this point. Like, what are we
wait, what did you just say? Putting laws on being a wife? Cincy, my guy. I gave you a reason for why people call him a simp. I don't agree that he is, but let's look at it, and we'll look at what's this young brother's name, the light-skinned fellow from plays basketball. You know who I'm talking about, Bex, the pretty-eyed for Steph Curry. Yo, here's why people started calling him a simp, even though I think he was just, collateral damage in this, right? A few years back, he got a magazine cover. He's a guy that's obviously in peak physical shape, but he's not a man that seeks attention from anyone else outside his wife, right? He's that guy. His wife went on an interview and said, it bothers me that he gets so much attention and I don't get that same attention from guys. And I was just like, I can get that. I understand that. It's like, damn, I wish someone would tell me I'm sexy as well. Now, sometimes your outside voice has got to be your inside voice. Not every thought is for the internet. That's where the conversation about him being a simp was, because, and I don't agree with it, but I do believe privately he probably went to his wife, as he should, and be like, why would you say some dumb shit like that in public on the internet for the world to consume? Why would you even give people the ammo to judge our relationship in that way? Now, let me ask you a question. Is that him putting restrictions on his wife, or is that him saying, hey, respect me the same way I respect you?
I mean, I feel like, yeah, what you just said, it's him saying, respect me the same way I respect you. But what would be the difference is, one, I don't think there's anybody in the world who didn't think that was a semi-outlandish statement. Even if you understood where she's coming from. Right. But we're talking about
twerking,
dancing here. Like, come on now. If you are truly that uncomfortable with your wife twerking in public, you might as well just stay at home.
Wait, let me get this. I want to make sure.
Divorce your wife right then.
Let me make sure if I understand this. So for you in marriage, Cincy, it is a form of respect to have your wife out there twerking in the streets.
It's a form of my trust for my wife that she's twerking on TikToks and Instagram and not with her ass up on another man. There's a huge difference.
Okay.
So and if I didn't want her to do that, I would go get me a really nice, good Christian woman.
Well, you don't have to be a Christian woman not to shake your ass for no apparent reason.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, come on.
Are we forgetting that this is the entertainment industry, the same entertainment industry where, like, she's not doing very well? Are we forgetting that?
Forgetting which part? That Sierra's not doing very well?
Yeah, like she's not.
Oh, are you calling her desperate?
Kinda.
Well, here and that's the thing. Okay, go ahead.
And so I think that she might be facing like some pressure from her label, some pressure from like her fans, things like that, and so she decided to do it. And like I think that's genuinely what it is, because like I do think that she likes him a lot. She married him.
I hope she does more than like him. If you're married to him, I hope we're past the stage of like. But so you think she got pressured into it? Let me make sure I'm reporting accurately. Industry pressure, label pressure, and pressure to stay relevant, right?
Right.
So here's the question I would pose if I was Russell Wilson, because this is 100%. It has nothing to do with my insecurity, and not something people do to shame someone when they don't agree with something. I would be like, hey, babe, if it's a rap, it's a rap, but I want you to know you're covered by me. See, there's a distinct difference there between trying to say that someone's possessive or me just saying to a woman like, yo, I get it. You know, it's hard to stay relevant, but my preference is that you wouldn't do that.
And if that's a conversation that they're having, then like, I hope that's a conversation that they're having. But if it's not, then I understand why, like, you know, she posted her video. And also it could be that, like, you know, she's an entertainer, and this is like quote unquote in her job description. And if he's okay with it, then like I don't see the problem.
That's kind of like what I'm saying, because we're gonna keep like harping back on, oh, it's a gas station, not TikTok or anything like that. What is the difference between her doing this on IG at a gas station and her doing the exact same thing in a music video if she's still relevant? Like, because she's still doing it in front of hundreds of men. So you're asking her to stop doing what she does.
So let me appeal to your own logic, right? If you're saying that she's doing it to remain relevant and she has to go to this level, then you've already disqualified the fact that it's not the same thing as when she does it in a video that's about to pop for 5 million views. She's desperate to stay relevant. But the question we had initially was why people were looking at him as a simp. And for the most part, it's because of the way she behaves.
No, I think that people look at him like a simp because of where she came from. They look at him, they look at Russell, and then they look at Future, and they look at Future as like, because I know you guys have heard the narrative where everybody's just like, oh, girls only want the fuck boy, they only want the bad guys and everything like that. And then here comes Russell, and they didn't want Sierra to get a second chance. That like she was everything that like Mr. High Value Man himself said that like you shouldn't want or was undesirable. And so they didn't want her to thrive after like, you know, they were not in a relationship anymore. And she found Russell and he treated her immaculately. And so they want her relationship to fail. They don't want her to be happy. They don't want her situation to be good. And so like I feel like a lot of the times they'll use any reason to validate their bias with Russell. Like I think that a good gauge on like what kind of guy you are is what you do think about Russell Wilson. Like he loves his wife, respects his wife, and everything like that. And if you call him a simp for that, if you call him a simp for having a good relationship, then like, what does that say about you?
I think the thing that people forget when they make that argument, also Russell's a Christian, so shout out to him. The thing that people forget when they make this argument in regards to Russell, that's right, motherfucker, he's a Christian. You thought I was just gonna let that gloss over? I was like, ain't no hoteps out there trying to save Sierra. Them the ones banging on her. But here's the thing. Here's the argument that people forget about when it comes to Future, Lori Harvey, and women that would mess with a man like Future. It's not so much the women that people are reacting to, and me and Bex had talked about this before. It's the stink of the fool you were with before and the picker. Now, I'm happy she found Russell. I hope that those days are done for her. But if you ask me why people call him a simp, I'm giving you the reason. I don't agree with it. I just think Russell's the type of guy who doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, he covers his wife. He does with Sierra what Kanye tried to do with Kim, but I don't think he was emotionally able to do for Kim, which is like, yeah, I can deal with a lot of this stuff, you know, because he has a strong Christian foundation. He's not just some crazy person not taking his pills. But if we get to Steph Curry, people are calling him a simp for a different reason. Now, the reason I don't call Steph Curry a simp, man, is because I don't think he needed to come. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he needed to come out and publicly spade his wife or like get at her like that. But there definitely would have been a conversation like behind scenes. What do you think?
I think that maybe his ego was a little wounded because like I think sports are like hyper masculine for men, and they get in like this hyper masculine space, and so like, you know, their ego is really important to them in those spaces. And so he didn't want to feel like he wasn't the man just because of something that his wife said, but maybe she vocalized something that she was feeling. Not that I think that she was right for doing it in the public eye, but that was definitely her choice and her decision, and it's already happened. So how do you move past that?
Well, no, here's the thing. He didn't become hyper masculine about it. He didn't say anything bad about his wife at all, which is why I have respect for him. I said something bad about his wife, and many other people said something, which was, yo, why would you disrespect a man that is so respectful of you? Feelings or not. And this, I think this sometimes is the thing. I don't know. Since you tap in, you let me know. Bex, you let me know. Sometimes I think we're ruled by our feelings, and just because you feel something don't mean you need to sit on the couch with DJ Envy and whoever that woman was interviewing them and say I've been faking orgasms for 7 years. You know, some shit you keep to yourself. Like, what do you think, Bex? I don't know.
That she definitely should kept that to herself.
And I got respect for Steph Curry, man. I got respect for him being able, you know, to you know, keep it together under that situation, because he didn't come out of character at all. But we got to get off the simping thing. Here's the thing for you guys, man, out there simping over these women, man. They don't want you. Let me save you a long, painful summer. They don't want you. Don't let them lie to you. Don't let DaVinci and Bex lie to you talking about, well, maybe there's a chance. Man, you know, we can talk and we'll go to the park. They ain't going nowhere with you. They ain't going nowhere with you.
See, simps make the world go round, and you fucking shit up right now.
Yeah, you saying what a pimp says. You messing up the game. But
you are.
How many of these men that are?
I mean, I don't disagree. Like, shit. Like he said what he said. Like, give effort to people who give effort to you, and if, like, you know, if you can't be open, you can't have a conversation about things, you feel like game is just being ran, then, like, you know, talk about it. And if that's the case, then, like, keep it pushing, you know? I feel like I don't disagree with that statement.
I'm trying to save you, young buck. Cincy, what were you about to say, man? And I love that baby picture, by the way, bro. That shit is amazing, man.
I appreciate it. Here's, since we're about to get off of it, the biggest reason why I'm not entirely sure I want to be a part of defining what a simp is.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, we're going to say from these two examples that Steph Curry may have pulled his wife to the side, had a nice conversation about her with that. Mm-hmm. In Russell's case, I'm under the belief that he probably doesn't have an issue with it because he knew who he was getting into a relationship with to begin with.
Right.
So for me, is the issue really them being simps, or with the people who are calling them simps? Because how many men that are calling Steph a simp and Russell a simp would happily marry either one of those two women?
Period.
They would marry Brittany Renner, most of the guys that are out here saying that. And I'd be like, well, guess what you are, sucker. I'm not falling for it. I agree with your point. I'm just saying, here's my issue with this whole simp conversation, right? And Bex proved my point. If we talk badly about the simps, then we ruining the game. Where I'm not talking down on the simp. I actually don't think it has anything to do with the woman. It has to do with that person's level of self-respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, and I think for me also, another thing that's really particular about simpish behavior, it's just this, man. Do not diminish yourself for someone else. There's a difference between, like, bending to your woman's needs, right? And wanting to be there to protect her and cover her and walk through stuff. You don't have to validate every feeling, but that doesn't mean you have to abandon her in her time of need. That's not simping. Simping, it really is like, if I got to listen to you at 9 o'clock in the morning explaining to me, you know, whatever new scheme it is to make her feel some type of affection for you. That's why, since she's smiling, man, everyone's got a friend like that. You know, I'm more than happy to define it.
Let's not act like the majority of the people who use that term aren't just using it because, like, a man is being nice to a woman. Like, let's not act like that's not what the case is. Like,
100%.
The majority of the guys saying, like, oh, you're a simp, you're a simp, you're a simp, are just like, oh, he's being nice to a woman. It's going to raise all of their standards, and then I won't be able to pass off the bare minimum. Like, that's what that is. And so
I keep trying to tell people, stop being nice to women. Let's just make it equal. Everyone just come at each other.
Don't start with me.
No, you gotta, since he made the exact same point, and we have to differentiate, because I you know, that's an important thing to do, man. It's just, look, we all knew one simp, right? He was a, you know, blue pillar. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna use any names, but I didn't believe it when people were telling me, I was like, wait, that doesn't make him a simp, really. If he just like, if he's, you know, if she made a valid point, then you got to agree with him. But then I started to see the behavior myself, and I'm just like, oh, so she's never wrong. But speaking of simps, let's move on to Bex's topic, because this shit is this is hard hitting right here, man. I can't.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. One more thing.
Go for it. Go for it.
With the Lori Harvey situation, because I heard you mention that a little bit earlier. Oh, yeah. What if he got with people his own age? That's all I'm saying. And
100%.
What if he got with people who were ready for the kind of relationship that he wanted? What if he vocalized that? That's all I'm saying. And I'd never really believed that relationship was real from the jump. Like, truly, I didn't. I thought it was a PR stunt. Because they didn't, you know what? Never mind. Keep going. Keep it pushing. I just wanted to get that tidbit out there.
And see, DaVinci, if you would come through on Tuesday nights for a show about integrity and journalism, you would have heard Cincy and I talking about this. Because what if he not only dated a woman his own age, right? But never, ever, gentlemen, listen to me. If she took the son and then took the father to the streets, she must go back to. Do not get with her. She's not trying to be married, man. Like, that's... So now Sean Puffy and his son have son. I can't even imagine what Thanksgiving is like in that house. And I'm not trying to. That's crazy. Bex, Joe Budden's out here leading the civil rights movement. Seeing some disparity, some discrimination in the most unlikely place. Tell us all about it.
Okay, so I got this off of DJ Academic's page. I guess Joe posted it to his story or whatever. And could you pull it up? Can you pull it up?
No, so every time I've tried to share something, I got Thanos snapped. I'm gonna try one more time. If not, I'll be right back.
Let me see if I can do it. Did he get snapped?
I don't know. He's still there. I see him. I need to make a drink, though. I just woke up.
Steve is froze.
I can't tell if he's concentrating or if he's just frozen. Yeah. Oh. How have you guys been? How was your day today?
It was good. Just got off of work. How was your day?
Girl, I don't know. Maybe I'm having a week. I decided that I wanted to take a trip. I got to catch a plane tomorrow after work. I don't know why I booked that flight for tomorrow, and it's just a little weekend trip. And now I'm like stressed out because I don't know if I'll get out of work on time in order to catch my flight.
Is it a late flight?
Oh, there he is. You back?
I'm back. All right. The civil rights movement. Joe Budden. What happened?
Okay, so he tweeted, well, yeah, I think he shared it to his story. He was like, New York strip clubs, not only are you hiring Black women, not only are you not hiring Black women, you are purposely hiring the same exact girl. Your promoter having a type is going to lose y'all money this summer. This is disgusting. Not the girls, the optics. Okay. And yes, those are the girls. They all look related. They all look like they are sisters. So yeah, like it is kind of weird, but just having it come out of his mouth, like it was just, I was taken aback. And the comments, like the first comment, the comments were hilarious. The first comment was from Waka Flocka, and he basically told Joe to shut his soft ass up. He told Joe to shut his soft ass up, and Joe replied with, "Or what?" Now, to me, it's giving pandering, and a lot of other people agree. I don't ever remember hearing Joe Budden speak up for Black women before, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember it. And now that he's being seen with, a chocolate sister, he got himself a dark skinned girlfriend. He want to switch up his tune now. Me personally, I don't want to see Black women discriminated against, but we can let the preferences have this one. Like, they can have it. I would much rather see Black women doing something else. I would much rather see Black women being the face of something else and not strip clubs.
Right.
We are already hypersexualized enough. We don't need this one. The preferences can have this one. And when I was reading the comments on Twitter, apparently this isn't anything new in New York strip clubs. And
no,
I'm not surprised at all. And this is clearly for a reason, because this is what men desire. Like, this is what your customers want. Okay, you know what I mean, Steve. This is what their customers want.
Right.
And if the customers wanted something else, then they would say something different. And Joe knows that. And Walker knows that, which is why he told Joe to shut his soft ass up.
Oh, I don't know about that one, Bex, because okay. So there are people who want to be dancers that are of every skin tone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the dark skinned girls who are dancers are having a hard time finding jobs there. And like, that's something that they face. So whether he said it or not, because he has a dark skinned girlfriend now, like that is what's happening. And like, I'm glad like he's shedding a little light, even if he didn't do it genuinely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's speaking the truth, but he's still pandering.
Yeah, he definitely is. Like, he's probably saying it because he wants people to think that his girlfriend is beautiful, or see women that look like his girlfriend in the strip club, or whatever like mental space you're in for that. Like, because I've noticed, and this might be a hot take from me, that a lot of the time niggas don't like their girlfriend unless they boys think she's hot too.
That's true.
And that's mad weird to me.
Yuck.
Mad weird to me.
That's what I'm saying. You don't need their attention. You don't need to be out at this gas station doing this. You my queen, right? That's my point.
Steve,
look, I'm
you out.
I'm just trying to bring some levity to it. Yo, shout out to Joe Budden, right? You know what I'm saying? The civil rights movement, as I said before, is not dead. Joe's out here making sure that Black women get the same opportunities that these other women are getting. I disagree. I'm not one for strip clubs. I've explained this one for me, and it's mostly due to the fact that I feel awkward when I'm in there. I don't know what to do with my hands because I don't want to touch them. So I spend there, like, anytime I've been there, I've just been like, just take the money, leave me alone. I want my free drink and I want to get out of here. But in regards to strip clubs in New York, right? Joe, you obviously were in Manhattan. That looks like a swanky club in Manhattan, and there's a certain demographic of men that frequent these places. I'm sure that if I'm correct, I know where that place is, and it's dead smack in the middle of Manhattan. Not smack in the middle. It's like near the Iron District. I apologize for that. But that's not the demographic they're trying to key to. You know what I'm saying? And the Black men that do go there, well, those are the type of brothers that have the type of money to go in these spots. It's mostly entertainers and like Wall Street guys that made their way north coming up there. Joe needed to come to the Bronx. Why you ain't go to the strip club where Cardi B used to work? Why you acting like they ain't strip clubs outside the neighborhood? You can catch the Metro North on 125th Street, and one of the oldest strip clubs in New York is literally within eyesight. Joe's capping on this one.
I think he's mad because they all look like Sin, and he's upset about that.
They look like who? Who's that?
Sin.
I think this brings up a bigger conversation about colorism, because even what you said about like, well, look what area it is, what kind of demographic they're catering to. Are you saying that men who make more money like women who are closer to the Eurocentric beauty standard, or have a fetish on Black women that are lighter skinned? Like,
well, my point is that those men would more than likely be into colorism, right? It's Manhattan. I grew up there and I understand what that demographic is. I'm not condoning it, but the fact of the matter is, here's a real question. What the hell was Joe doing there? Right? Why does he care who's in the strip club? You got your black queen, man. Stay home. How about you do something different? You know what I'm saying? Like this, make it make sense to me.
Maybe she was with him.
What did she point out there with no sister?
I mean, maybe she likes strip clubs. I mean, if you haven't been to a strip club with a woman, you haven't really been to a strip club.
Since you on some weird stuff, man. First and foremost, if you want to take your lady to a strip club, that's on you. But don't you dare try to make it into a racial situation. What, you just can't go out? And
One, I'm going to jump into this because I agree with a lot of things that both Bex and DaVinci said. For one, I don't think I've ever heard, even in his music, Joe Budden speak specifically about or stand up for black women, but he has for black community issues. I'm just going to put that out there. Mm-hmm. But it was funny to me when I first saw this, and I think I actually brought this up like a week or two ago on Dumb and Out, because Joe Budden's never been seen with a black woman until recently. Mm-hmm. So it was very odd to me that he said. I found it kind of comical. Now, I don't know what's going on with New York or Manhattan, because I know the whitest place in the world is Kentucky, and I've been to strip clubs there, and it's like half and half black women and white women. Mm-hmm. So just because it's in a certain part of the city, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there might be strip clubs in Harlem, but isn't Harlem on the same island? Isn't that Manhattan still?
No, so this is what you got to understand, and this is the problem when you don't go to Manhattan if you've never been there before. Manhattan, that area he's in, is an affluent area. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to. And here's the thing: this is going to be a tough pill for a lot of people to swallow, even though I don't agree with it. The person that owns that club don't have to do shit. They don't have to do anything they don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because they have the money and they've paid the cost to be the boss. And if they hired a bar manager and that's the look they're going for, Joe, my question still stands. What the hell are you doing there? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so this is the black woman's issue you picked up on. This is the thing with Champion. You know what I'm saying? Like the strip club. Okay, how about this, Joe? There's a school called Juilliard or Broadway Dance Center with real dancers. You know what I'm saying? Like the Opera House, where black women and Latino women are not represented. Why isn't that on your radar? Why the strip club? That's why. And I agree with Waka Flocka, man. It's like, yo, miss me with the cap, man. Like, I'm all for black women having opportunities, but I agree with Bex. I'm gonna let the preferences have this one. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's this is silly, man. And Joe Budden, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I enjoy him as a podcaster and a content creator, but as a thought provoker in this area, I'm gonna need him to back down a little bit. Unless, I don't know, do we need to march to get the black women up in there?
No, not in that. Why would you want to be somewhere where you're not wanted? Clearly they're not wanted in there. So right. No.
This isn't a water fountain.
Okay. Well, let me play devil's advocate then, because I'm going to touch on what Steve said, and then on, let me just touch on what Steve said.
Right.
What if the issue isn't the customer not wanting black women in there, but in fact the person that owns the strip club not wanting black women in there?
Well, I mean, the article makes it pretty clear that it was one person. It was an employee. It's the manager and the person that picks the dancers. But the person who picks the dancers in the Manhattan strip club is also the guy or woman who deals with the customers the most. And they're the ones observing the matrix on who has worked there. Okay. So the question would be, has there never been a black woman that's ever worked there?
Okay, well, I guess this is very... and this is about to get really weird, the comparison, I think. But I know specifically for reasons that aren't correct why some club owners don't serve Hennessy. And I'm wondering if they are not doing the same thing with black women.
That's what I was saying.
Well, okay, let me ask you this. Let me go back to that, the Hennessy thing, because I can tell you 10 clubs in Manhattan that don't allow you to wear fitteds. or Timbos in there either. Do you think that's racially motivated?
I think it can be. I don't see why it can't be. I'm not saying that on each specific example that it's going to be, but to say that it as a blanket statement that it couldn't be racially motivated would be wrong.
Well, but here's the thing, right? 3 of those clubs are owned by rich rap influencers. And the reason they don't allow you to wear Timbs in clubs in Manhattan is that these clubs, and this is completely separate from not having a black woman working there, but the reason they don't serve Hennessy and they don't let you wear Timbs is because they know that demographic. Jay-Z's bar, the 4040, you can't wear Timbs in there, and that is owned by Jay-Z, a man who wore Timbs. And he doesn't let people wear Timbs in there because he knows the type of cats that are going to show up with Timbs on. I mean, let's not pretend that there's a reason that they don't do this. Now, the Hennessy thing, you explain that one to me, because y'all have a deeper affinity with Hennessy than I do. If they're not serving Hennessy, does that mean black people ain't coming?
No, it's just if you're gonna feed into the stereotype about people who drink a certain type of drink, then what other stereotypes are you feeding into? I
get you. I'm gonna tell you straight up and down. If I had a club, I'd be like, not only is there no Timbs, no fitteds,
ain't gonna be no watermelon, no fried chicken in there either, because we know how Steve is.
Check it out. No gold chains that you had to rent. If you can't afford the gold chain yourself, you ain't allowed up in my club, straight up and down. But I think to answer your question though, Cincy, man, like go to
the classism.
Come to Manhattan and let me take you around, and you will find more often than not that that's the demographic they serve. It's been that way forever, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying this is a stupid cause to champion, because wouldn't we want our women not to be in a compromised position?
Wouldn't you want women to do exactly what they want to do? And women who want to dance, they want to be able to dance.
So, okay, well, let me ask the question again. Why would you want to go to a place that doesn't want you if that's the case? If you're obviously you're going to have a horrible time working in a place that's owned by this type of gentleman. Why do we need to integrate that? Why let that place?
I'm not just saying that it's just that place or it's just in New York. Like, I think I've heard across most states that like black dancers have or darker skinned dancers have a harder time finding work. Because there's colorism across the board. So
not in Atlanta and Chicago, not in LA.
But those are places dominated by like black people. And also I think that they have a hard time finding work there too. Like there's a TikTok dancer that I follow, and she was talking about a club in Atlanta where like, she came in and she thought she was going to be able to do not an interview, like get on the stage, do a set so that they could see what she could do. Right. And she was talking about how like they didn't even watch her set. Like they didn't even like pay attention. They were doing multiple things while she was doing her set. And then at the end, they were just like, yeah, sorry, I don't think it's going to work out, because they made their decision the second that she walked in.
Mm-hmm. See, this is where I think black capitalism solves this problem.
If you don't get out of my face with some fucking black capitalism, like I'm fucking die.
Since you're not with me, you don't think us owning our own strip clubs can move the community forward?
I mean, I think that's a good idea, though. If you have these black women out here that want to do this work and they're not getting that work, we don't want them in these places that they're not wanted. So, yeah.
It doesn't matter if like the club is owned by a black man if that black man is colorist.
I'm not talking about black men building the strip clubs. These
black women. It doesn't matter.
If you want this job, then yeah, you gotta get together with your stripper friends, and I mean, I'm gonna figure it out.
We gotta get these wrinkled ones all in one pile, right? We gotta make this happen. I'll say this, man, and in regards to the dancers, clearly the person that organizes this has a type. Did you notice that they all look like Kylie Jenner? I thought that was weird.
Ew.
I thought that was strange. Like I don't know, man.
They all look alike, period. That's strange. Like legit, it looks like a family reunion. Like they look related.
Yeah, but it's all right, Bex, because we got Joe Budden out here making sure that opportunities are available. Right. Let me pull up a picture of Joe Budden's girlfriend. Hold me down for a second, Bex. I'll be right back. Let me see what this woman looks like. Joe Budden's new boo thing. What's her name, Bex? Joe Budden.
I don't know that lady's name. I just saw a picture of her. I'm not even sure if that's really his girlfriend or not. I don't know.
And I don't think I was saying that like this is not going to be the hill that I die on. This is not like the cause that I champion, because I think that there are so many more important things to me. Right. But it's not a lie. Like there's colorism across the board. These women have a hard time finding work. This is something that they want to do, and they don't have the availability to do this sort of thing because of colorism. And there's colorism in a lot of these clubs.
Yeah, and you know what? And I'm not making an excuse for racist at all, man. If that's what this is, it clearly looks like there's some discrimination going on here. But I think this might be a win. This might be a win, because think about it this way, right? And this is gonna be a hard one to swallow. At least they're not surrounded by a bunch of grubby, dirty-handed businessmen, mostly predominantly white, being groped and ogled in an affluent club. That's got to be a win, right? You don't have black women out here, doing flips in a place where this guy is saying they're saying some racist shit when she's going up the pole, right? If it's that type of club, let's say they do a diversity hire, right? They hire a Bex, not you Bex, like evil Bex. And you climbing up the pole. You don't think they're gonna be saying some wild stuff about the black woman that's in there, even the light-skinned black woman?
I think that strip clubs, or the demographic of people who go there, a lot of the times, I think they're at least honest with themselves. They're honest with their. They might be shitty people. Not saying that everybody that goes to a strip club is a shitty person. Like there might be some shitty people that go there, but at least they're honest about the fact that they have a fetish, or they're honest about the fact that they want to see naked women and they're going to pay for it because they don't think that they could get it otherwise, or and not saying that that's the only reason that people go to strip clubs either, because some people admire like the talent. Some people admire the ambiance. Yeah. They like that they're allowed to be exactly who they are there.
Right. I've always liked the strip clubs with the food in them. You know what I'm saying? So I can get away from this poor child that's doing a flip on the pole. And I'm like, look, here, just take this $20 bill. I'm going to go over here and get some of these bottomless nachos.
Isn't a strip club supposed to be about variety, though? Like, wouldn't that be boring, just going to a strip club where all the bitches just look alike?
I don't even know why people go to strip clubs. So you're asking the wrong guy. I don't get it at all. Cincy, why do people go to strip clubs?
In the famous words of Jay-Z, it's only entertainment. Goddamn. Jesus, loosen the fuck up.
I mean, he also let us up on the fact that that's a way to get a tax write-off, but
you can claim strippers? What are you talking about?
What's his fucking face? Jay-Z was talking about it was in a song about how you can write it off. And that's why people go there. Like you throw a certain amount that you want to write off in a strip club.
Really? That's ingenious. Did you say it's only entertainment? Loosen up?
Yeah.
you know you fucked up, right? You fucked up, right? I'm gonna say this, man. Bex, when you picked this one, I chuckled like out loud, like laughed because I went through and I read the comments, man, and I was wondering to myself when Joe posted this, did he go, man, it's gonna be my Rosa Parks moment right here. This is gonna really make them love me. They're gonna buy the next album. I'm for sure. He's like, this is me, Martin, Malcolm. You know, roses.
Oh Lord.
Like he's like, and you know what the real crazy part is, man? You know where he's lucky, because I don't think this would be fair to do to him. Someone's lucky they didn't bring up his own past in regards to black women. I'll just leave it at that.
Yep, that's why I thought the whole thing was funny.
I like to go because of the ambiance. Like,
you be in these strip clubs, Vicky?
I mean, I'll go every once in a while. It's fun. It's extra fun. Like, you sit in your little section. If you got a little bit of money, like, people cater to you and make you feel like you're on top of the world. Like, they create an environment.
I think well, yeah, I can see that would be nice.
I admire it. Like, I very much admire it. It's like customer service to the nth degree. Like, those ladies, they make me feel so pretty, and like they make me feel powerful. Like, it's they're supposed to create an experience for the customer, and they definitely do that. But you have to be able to pay for it like any other establishment. And I love it. I'll sit there and drink my cute little drink with my cute little cup and like in a cute outfit, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, I see you." Like, they'll be talking me up and giving me the experience that I want there, which is to feel like a boss ass bitch. And like, they'll give me anything that I want. Like, if I order some wings, here comes a pretty ass girl with a platter of wings and a drink, another one, and a pretty ass cup. You just gotta be able to pay for it. It's so fun.
I think if I went nowadays, I'd probably try to therapize the girls. I'd be like,
my goodness gracious.
Could you come sit down for a second? No, I don't want to dance, young lady. Let's talk about it. How'd you what brought you here? Tell me about your dreams, your aspirations. To be $1 with you, man, I don't like artificial scenarios. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is not one of those things like, I don't want to pay for nothing. No, that's not it. It's when I've gone, I see the ambiance, I get that, and I'm just like, I'm good, man. If you guys want to go to a club, you know what I'm saying, like, get our dance on, let's go listen to some music. But for me personally, I just never fit in those scenarios. But more power to you, man. I don't even like going to Hooters, to be honest with you. Like it's just, this is before I was a Christian, huh?
Why not?
Because it all just felt so fake, Rex. Like the fake flirting.
It is all fake. Like, if you go to a nice ass restaurant, like, and your server doesn't like you, but they're nice to you anyway, like, they're providing a fake experience for you as well.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm not trying to sleep with my server, and my server's not trying to make me think that that's an option. I'm like, put the hors d'oeuvres down and kick rocks, Chad. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, me personally, I just don't. It's my thing. I don't like that type of stuff. Like, I've always wanted, if I'm going to be around women in that capacity, I want them to enjoy my company. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it to be because, now I've got a straight strip club story. I've told it to DaVinci and y'all many times, but that might be what scarred me. But and it's also why I don't drink Hennessy anymore.
I don't like Hooters because the food's not good, not because the girls aren't pretty.
No, the food is horrible at Hooters, right? And they should call the one I went to something called Pooters. They definitely had the B squad working that day, and I was like, man, I'm a chauvinist for thinking this stuff. I was like, but y'all not living up to brand right now. So I was like, I'm out.
Also, like, I've got my thoughts about Hooters, but I'm gonna keep it to myself so we can keep it pushing.
Bex, let me ask you a question, Bex. Exotic dancers, right? In your estimation, do you think that they should stand up and congratulate Joe for his courage and being willing to post such a controversial thing?
Oh, shit.
Because obviously took courage, right?
No.
I think you don't think this and putting the black square over your face for Black Lives Matter. It takes a great deal of courage to do these things. Bex, are you trying to say that he's not championing women's rights right now, Bex?
I don't even like this man. I don't like this man.
Oh man, it's gonna be hard to transition from this to Sensei's thing, but we got to do it.
Shout out to Club Pinups, Decatur, Georgia, home of the $5 lap dance, best chicken wings and breakfast in the state.
What's the name of this place? It sounds amazing.
Did you say that $5 lap dance?
Yep.
Is that at a certain time or is that 24/7?
No, it's all day.
Oh.
Okay. How long are these? Is it one song, $5?
Yeah, it's a song.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Sister, can you turn your camera on so I can look you in your eyes right now? How much was that lap dance, Sissy, and how many did you get?
5. I mean, I spent more of my money on the food and drinks, but it's fine. I was good in there. You know what really killed it though, because I do love pinups. I ain't gonna lie to you. Shout out Decatur for always supporting Black women who dance. I was cool until one of the strippers tried to get to know me, and I found out she was from Cleveland, and I was like, "Yep, that's the end of this night."
So you turned that Black woman down because she's from Cleveland?
No, I didn't turn her down. It was just time to go.
You're supposed to support that sister in her dreams and her endeavors. In fact, what you should all do to prove that you're supporting Black women in the strip clubs is I want you to go home, get their phone numbers, raise their kids, whatever they need. All right. You kick in to show them that you support them. Deal with their baby daddies and all that shit. Now that's support for Black strippers right there. Not assuming that they all have them, but if they got them, you can't turn them away. Right?
I was about to say, Steve.
That's not just the Black women. You ever seen that movie? What's that movie with Jennifer Lopez when she played Hustlers? Man, I don't get it. I don't get it. Since when I come out there, I'll ask Mrs. Holdup for permission. Maybe I'll stand outside and look in the club while you're having a good time. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you would take me to some $5. Knowing what $5 lap dances, I feel like I'm not utilizing our friendship well enough. What other bargains can you get me?
Let's not forget he said the wings was bussin'. So
and the breakfast if you
oh wow. When we going, Cincy?
You went for the breakfast special, the early bird too.
I mean, because it's open all night. So you get there right at the end of the night, you probably need to hit some wings to sober up. Start getting some more drinks, some more dances. Next thing you know, it's 4 a.m. and it's breakfast time. It makes sense to me.
Yo.
Whenever y'all want to make a trip to Atlanta, Decatur, let me know. I'm there.
This is why you got to come through for Dumbing Out, folks, because he never told this story on the show where it's appropriate. So next Tuesday, rest assured, I'm gonna be pressing him about this shit, man. All right. We got anything else on the civil rights leader Joe Budden stepping into the gap for equality before we jump out of here?
Please stop calling him that. And no.
All right, Cincy. So you roll it out, man, because I know this is some. I feel as if though you're trying to take a shot, so I'm just gonna let you take your shot right now.
You know what? I'm not trying to take a shot. I actually wasn't even going to do this on the show.
Okay.
So, I mean, but you brought it up and we're here now. So why not?
Wait, this is your topic, right? This is the one you wanted? Was the
actually no, I actually didn't put one in for this week. But
no, you put 2 in. My bad. I thought that was it.
No, both of the things I put in there were actually not topics for the show.
Okay.
But I know we're gonna go there. We're going to go there.
You leave that man alone, because sometimes we just post TikToks because we like them.
Oh, I mean, I ain't gonna lie though. I specifically wrote in the message that it wasn't a topic for the show. Either one of them.
The top one. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna read you both of these here. Right?
Okay, go ahead. I'm looking at the screen, my brother. I'm looking at the screen. Right, it's 2 separate messages, a different type of breadcrumb, but nevertheless, breadcrumbs exhibit 1, not a topic for the show yet. So that's the first message, and then the second message is a seed, but a different type of seed. Also, oh shit. I pulled the Cincy. I didn't read the entire message.
Yep. Here we go. So last week, it's now. It's good. It's good. So there's recently the actual article isn't extremely recent, but apparently there was uncovered the oldest known Christian church in sub-Saharan Africa. It was found in Ethiopia, and basically what it does is shed a light on the timeline of the earliest conversion to Christianity in Africa.
Yeah.
So basically the realization they have there is that this all took part in 313 around the 4th century AD, and that it happened during the time of Emperor Constantine while he was doing trade routes in the area.
Okay.
It was kind of proof, one, that they were at the time doing trade with Ethiopians and Romans, but also because it was the first church that they found, being that it was in Roman architecture, they believe it to be an actual Roman church built in Ethiopia and not an Ethiopian Christian church built by Ethiopians.
Okay. All right. So what's your point?
This is why it wasn't a topic for the show, because it's a bigger concept than one article. Okay. But the point of the matter, if we're just going to take one word out of this whole article,
right.
The word was conversion.
And
if we're going to take the next bullet point, it was 313 AD. And right. I stand my case from that exhibit 1 of.
I'm not entirely sure I know what your case is. So
it's because it hasn't been built yet.
No, okay.
I mean, if I'm just going to give you the brief rundown, it's not original to Africa, and it's not the source. Africa is not the source of it either.
Wait, but I'm confused. Had I claimed that Africa was the source, or
no? No, and see, that's why everything's going to be taken wrong, because I didn't get to set the whole setup.
Well, you should have came to court ready, man.
No. I was giving because I was going to come to court ready, because you know how the court system works. If you're the defendant and I'm the prosecutor, we got to share evidence as we go. That's what I was doing.
Oh, you don't share as you go. Everyone, you present all the evidence at the same time.
No, you don't have to. You have discovery for months and months. You think they give every piece of discovery at the same time? I mean, come on now. Listen, discovery goes on for years sometimes.
Yeah, if new items, if they're just still doing research, but you're arguing. So let me jump off the deep end here in regards to this, man. Theologically, I don't think I've ever heard any Eurocentric, and I'm going to make a valid point here, Eurocentric theological seminary ever claimed that Christianity came from Africa. Now, the people I have heard say it look an awful lot like me and Bex, and they're usually standing on the corner. They got a dashiki on and they're screaming at me from their podium. So I hope we'll be addressing those brothers and not the good believing Christians that don't believe this. Now, the funny thing is, Ethiopians are mentioned multiple times throughout the scriptures, even before the New Testament. Obviously, we all know about the Ethiopian queen that came to visit. What is this cat's name, man? Solomon. Yeah, Solomon, and some contention, some controversy around some of the verbs used in there. Actually, Bex, you probably know this. That's probably the most risque part of the Bible, because the way he describes what he wants to do or to her, and you know what I'm saying. Very beautifully written. But yeah, man. I don't know. Since here's the thing, man. Ethiopian Orthodox Church. I get down with those fools, man. I like the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, man. I watched this great documentary once about these little Ethiopian monks and how they transcribe the scriptures and the amount of detail that goes into it. And there's 18 of them, Bex. And then the white gentleman that was filming them, every time he comes, he has to bring them stuff they've asked for. And one little old Ethiopian monk had asked for glasses, and he forgot to bring them. And he's like, "Well, give me the glasses off your head." I was like, "Ain't that about right?" Even in Ethiopia, we're like, "Give it up right now." What else? What do you think about this, Bex? Ethiopian church discovered? Romans might have built it. Ethiopians could have built it. What do you think?
I'm waiting for the whole story. Like,
You waiting for the whole story? You waiting for me and Cincy to go at it for hours and hours about this?
I mean, I've been waiting for that for a while now. Like this has been, yeah.
I've been dealing with this type of stuff since I converted, man. Since he's just another friend, another dear brother that's about to beat me upside the head, and somehow this conversation is going to end with me being a coon. This is how this always goes, man.
But you live for this. You like this type shit, right?
I mean, I'm built for it. I'm built for it. I just know if the day he shows up with a kufi on his head, I'm turning the cameras on. I'm like, all right, this is the moment. We're ready to go. Since you're gonna be standing up on the stage like, and brother Steve needs to accept the fact. What do you think, Da Vinci? Da Vinci's like, I don't give a shit.
What? I'm sure he has a point. I like he said, I think we're still in the discovery phase, and this is a piece, and I'm waiting for all of it until I make a statement.
All right, Cynthia, are we going to televise this trial? Is this going to be a stream thing, or what are we doing?
Yeah, this is absolutely going to be streamed.
All right. I want you to know that all my data is already compiled. It's
okay. No. There's someone. Bex knows my data is compiled. I'm just breaking it out in pieces.
Right.
In pieces to warm you up just a little bit before we do this.
So since this is supposed to be a case, what is on trial exactly?
I mean, I'm not gonna play my hand because now
that was the wrong bit of symbolism. So we're just having a debate. What are
No. We're not going to have a debate, but I know how we debate, you and me, on this topic. So I'm not going to give you that right now.
Why? Because
I'm going to give you the evidence, but I'm not going to entirely give that.
Why not, Cincy?
No,
why not?
Here's particularly why. Because he said something the other day that it didn't rub me the wrong way because I love Steve. But Bex, you were here the other day when Steve said he already knew what point I was trying to make with those articles. Did he not say that? So why should I tell you? You already know the story. If you're that brilliant, you go ahead and make the point for me then.
Well, I mean,
I don't know about that. Because go
ahead, Vicky.
Anytime I'm gonna do a debate, like I share all my source material with the opposite party, so like they already know everything that I'm coming with, because no matter what they say, my point is going to be my point and it's going to be able to stand. So what you worried about, that your point won't stand if he knows everything?
No, I know my point's going to stand either way, because history goes back 25,000 plus years, not till 37 AD, which would be my ultimate point, that we have way too much faith in a religion that's only 1/32 of the history of the world. So let's go back to source and really find out what the.
But I think you and I would be having two different conversations, because even when that night we stayed up talking poor Bex's ear off when she was secretly moderating, I've never discounted that there were religions that existed before Christianity. That's not.
Well, the end of the okay. If we're refuting though the religions that happened before Christianity, how can we refute them and then further believe a religion that happened 25,000 plus years after the original religions? A religion that also takes a lot of its scripture from those religions.
So see, that's the claim you're trying to make. You're making the claim that Christianity has pulled, or Judeo-Christianity. So I assume you're throwing Judaism into this as well.
We can throw every single one of the religions that have ever existed known to mankind.
No, I'm just trying to be specific, brother. I'm just trying to be specific. Are you giving smoke to Judaism as well?
I'm giving smoke to every religion.
Every religion that is not of Africa.
Yeah, I'm giving every religion smoke the day we have this conversation.
Are you giving the religions from Africa smoke as well?
Yeah, when they don't add up.
So we're scrutinizing everything. So
my whole entire argument is going to go back to the source that we have, that's out there, that can be found.
And what's that source?
The first civilizations.
Which were who?
I mean, we're gonna, like, the article says everything sub-Saharan Africa.
Mm-hmm. You know, I sent you a message regarding this one day. I can't say it online, Cincy. But...
Yeah, oh yeah, and I did I refute that message though? Did I refute the message? I didn't, because I'm not going to refute that, because I know it goes against what I'm going to tell you at bed.
So, okay, you heard it here first, folks. Cincy is going to make the anthropological presentation that one particular or an amalgam of African religions are the true religions, and he's going to completely yes, that's what he's going to do. And I'm ready. I'm ready for it. We'll sit down. We'll have some popcorn. It should be a good conversation. I'll have all my sources verified. But I want you all to remember this. On the Lord's Day, June 8th, 2022, 11:40 p.m. Eastern, that the only position that I have to prove is that my position can't be disproved by the evidence of other positions.
I'm at the edge of my seat.
Are we in agreement on that, brother?
Oh yeah, I'm here for it. I am here for it. I've been waiting for this.
I'll get your seat ready at the Southern Baptist Black Church. We'll be.
I don't participate in that either.
we'll have your chicken plate ready with a communion and Hennessy, and we'll get it cracking.
Don't forget the watermelon.
Yes, my native African fruit, by the way, watermelon will be present.
And you gotta have both types. I want the yellow watermelon and the red watermelon. So
with all the seeds.
With all the seeds.
The only way I agree to do this is I can wear a bow tie and you wear a dashiki. That's the only way I'm stepping into this. And it's gotta be broadcasted on local television, like public access, and there's gotta be a brother with a name that has like 13 syllables.
Hey, I've got a connection here at CET if you're trying to do that for real.
I love you, man. This is good. And now we got to get to Da Vinci's stereotypical TikTokers attacking men yet again. Oh, here we go. No, Da Vinci, you got an interesting one. Let's see if I can share it, because there's actually a video that goes with this one. What the hell is it? All right.
It's the first one with me pointing towards it.
You're so happy too. It's like, make sure you get the right one. The right one. All right, there we go. Let's get you over here.
I don't know. I might just be happy because like I'm having some Malibu rum, pineapple juice, and orange juice.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
But I didn't eat first because I just woke up and there's something in this liquor.
Are you drinking? Wait, is that the right? All right, there we go. All right. We got the TikToks going. All right, here, let's go.
I've lost all faith in men, so let's get to it. Do women talk too much? Hint, science says no. The stereotype that women talk more than men is infinitely amusing to me because men are literally incapable of shutting the fuck up. I hope this post gets popular enough that I hurt a man's feelings. That's a life goal of mine too. It's not a stereotype, it's a proven fact, you feminazi piece of shit. Well, there it is. You want to talk proven facts? This shit's been done, son. Researcher Dale Spencer in Australia used audio and video tape to independently evaluate who talked the most in mixed gender university classroom discussion. Regardless of the gender ratio of the students, whether the instructor was deliberately trying to encourage female participation or not, men always talked more. Shocker. Whether the metric was minutes talking or number of words spoken. Moreover, men literally have no clue how much they talk. I see no lie. When Spencer asked students to evaluate their perception of who talked more in a given discussion, women were pretty accurate, but men perceived the discussion as being equal. when women talked only 15% of the time, and the discussion is being dominated by women if they talked only 30% of the time. Spencer's conclusion, if I may paraphrase, you only think we talk too much because you'd rather we were silent. Don't fuck with me, asshole. I'm a scientist. Words to live by. I've lost all faith in men, so let's get to it.
I'm gonna leave her face up there. She just looks like she'd be so much fun to hang out with. Go ahead, Vicky, take us away.
Ahaha. Wow. So she was, oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she was referencing a study done by an Australian scientist. I have 4 others that were done by like American scientists, if that matters to you. And also one that was done by, it was in the Journal of European Psychology, but it was talking about how advocating for other people can feel like oppression when you're the dominant class of people. And so like there's a narrative a lot of the time that women are really talkative, or women are really emotional, or they're more emotional than their male counterparts. Well, that's the narrative, that they're more emotional than their male counterparts, or that they speak more or they talk more than their male counterparts. But in actuality, that's not the case. And that's just the point that I wanted to bring up.
Well, let me tell you something right now. No, I don't have. This is one of those things, man, where it's like I went to go research it just to go check it out. So I was looking at some of the studies, and I asked myself a really important question. Am I going to try to refute this just for the sake of comedy? And I asked myself a philosophical question. Am I the type of guy to do something like that? Yes, I am. So
of course, I had hope.
In my research of it, so I found a few different studies. All of them lean back to what the Australian doctor had surmised. There were some smaller case studies done in college campuses where the sample size wasn't as large, and then there were a few where they broke down whether or not which topic each group talked more about. So by and large, a lot of people agree that men do talk about 25 to 30% more than women. So then I was like, man, I'm not getting the answers that I need here. What's all this shit? So I decided to go on Reddit, where the real research is done. And I was like, hey, do these women be talking? And then luckily a guy with a picture of Kevin Samuels popped up, and he was like, you're in the right room, young brother. This is what was like, yeah, men talk more than women. Men not only talk more than women, they talk over women. They dominate the conversation, right? Men spend more time proving their point. Yeah, this is the easy one. A part of me wanted to make a really crass joke, Vicky, but I was just like, you know what? This is not dumbing out. So I'm not going to make any crass jokes. But yeah, men talk more. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it, Bex? How you gonna stop me from talking?
Nothing. It's just the point that we wanted to make, because a lot of the time, people will be like, oh, women, all women do is talk. They gab. When in actuality, the reality of the situation is that you talk over women, or like you think that they talk. I've had a few drinks. You gotta be cool. Be cool, my guy. But in actuality, the situation is that they don't get the opportunity to talk as much. And it kind of leads into my second video, where I was surmising that like it may feel like oppression when people seek equality when you're the dominant class. So yeah.
We talked about this in one of our first episodes of I guess we can agree on that. The logical fallacy that women talk more actually is derived from an interpersonal dynamic between husband and wife. That's where this joke gets its start. It actually starts with the fact that somewhere, sometime, someone drinking a martini in a black and white movie, made the joke that my wife talks too much, and then society ran with it. I think that there are topics that women talk more about. You know what I'm saying? Like they're more passionate about. But I think this is something that should be refuted in regards to the emotional part, because we start discounting the spectrum of emotions. Like, okay, so common emotions that people describe that women have that they usually weaponize against them are you're too sensitive, you are, what's the other one? You are
too
all
emotional.
over the and that's just a blanket one. Like they go into specific stuff, and we talked about this on the show. Like, well, in that case, then we'll talk about the range of emotions that men typically feel when they're talking. There can be anger, right? There can be outright apathy, you know, which is an emotion. It's a, you know, the lack thereof, any really, but there's also indifference, which is also an offshoot of apathy. So this is one of those things where it's like, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. So we proved that men talk more, right? So when I say this, it's not to challenge you and Bex, but the real question is, what are you going to do about it?
Oh no, I don't have to do anything about it. I think I speak well enough. I think that a lot of the times when I bring up these feminist topics, or if I bring up feminist theory, there are a lot of men who like to be like, oh, well, no, that's not me. Or, oh, well, really, the thing is that they don't apply it to themselves, or they don't apply it to how they interact in interpersonal relationships. And so these traits persist. But if you, because all I can do is bring it up. Now, if you accept the information, then maybe you're more aware of it in encounters or conversations that you have with women. But if you're one of those men that, or one of those people, really, because I think that women have the capacity to do this as well, because I'm not in the habit of infantilizing women. But if you come across this information and then you internalize it, then maybe you will act better in your interpersonal relationships with people, period. But I can't make you do shit.
You want to take a stab at it, Cindy?
I thought it was ironic. I found humor. I thought it was funny. It makes sense to me. I didn't feel attacked by what she said, or like I had to prove anything. But you know, it's funny that the science would back that up, and yet we still have this thought or idea that women actually talk more than us. I thought she did I thought it was funny. And it's hard for me to say anything else because I'm absolutely sure in all the Discord calls, you, me, and Dub dominate every conversation that's had on there. So,
well, I mean, to be fair, you guys got a lot of feelings, and I'm listening to you when you're talking most of this. I'm just trying to hear all the feelings. When you and Dub start going at each other, then I was like, I'm gonna sit back and listen.
But okay, so you're saying
you don't
that
think
it's
you
not
have
true,
a lot of feelings?
because I'm pretty sure, you know, there is one person here that protects the internet more than anybody, and that's generally led by the captain of.
Well, see, here's the thing: protecting the internet is entirely different, because that's usually, remember what the standing joke was in the Discord that Dub makes, right? And this is why I'm always listening. What were you guys not doing that prompted me to start doing those segments? Why did I start doing that, Bex? What would happen on those calls that made me go, all right, I got to make my friends laugh?
Oh, the silence?
Boom. Boom. We're sitting on the Discord drinking with each other, and I look around and no one's saying anything, and I'm like, I love these people. I'm gonna make people happy.
The silence, you act like this. We would sit there for like 30 minutes and be completely silent. Like it wouldn't last that long.
I timed it one time. There was 10 whole minutes in a run.
Lying.
10 minutes.
Show me the receipts of the timer.
10 minutes in a space where we're supposed to be talking and gabbing, and you guys were just sitting there. And I was like, I got to do something. I got to be a hero, just like Joe Budden. I got to step in here and save my friends. Look, yo, DT Dub jumped out the call because no one was saying anything. But I just want to talk about the presenter, this woman that dropped the video. She's freaking hilarious. I got to expose my implicit bias. Vinky, I'm more than likely going to receive this information from you or Beck. So I'm like, all right, this is something to think of. This is my bias right here. So know that I'm speaking from my bias. The minute she started talking, I was like, oh, shut up. And I had to stop the video, and then I started up again because it was just something about her. Do you think that plays into it, why people won't receive the information? Sometimes it's the deliverer.
Oh, well, I think that's why I liked it. She was just so dry, and her humor was so dry. And I like that. So maybe that's why I clicked on the video. There are several different people on TikTok making that exact same point, and I've saved them all, but that was the most recent that I came across, and I thought that she was hilarious. So so that might be in part, like, because I'm definitely on misandry TikTok because I think that they're hilarious. So yeah, part of it is the delivery.
Bex, what do you think, man? We be talking, men be talking.
Both of y'all are Exhibit A.
Who's that? Me and Davinci?
Cincy.
Me and Cincy?
Yes.
What do you got against Cincy?
Men love hearing themselves talk, especially men with mics. So
I was hoping you would step into that trap. You know, I just want to point something out to the audience. One night, Bex said men with mics. Oh, yuck. So I started sending her all these videos of all these women with mics. And I'm like, what's up with this? What's up with that? What's up with this? You never answered those any of those shots I sent your way.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
I really don't. I don't know what you're talking about.
See, I'll have to send it again. Yo, what's up, Pokey? Yeah, but in a more serious manner, though, I think a useful tactic I learned in regards to my own relationship, and it's gotten me in trouble because now I just kind of sit and I'm listening, and I'm like, okay, this is me listening. Okay, is where, like, what is there a point of interjection? Is this a question? Is this a stream of consciousness? Am I supposed to respond? Am I not supposed to respond? So I don't say anything at all, and I just sit there. Appropriate? What do you think?
Those are very appropriate questions to ask because, like, I find that I ask myself those same questions when I'm listening to anyone. Are they just venting? Do I need to ask them questions? Like, are they looking for a response, or did they just want me to listen? I think that those are valuable questions to ask yourself when somebody is, like, going on a monologue. And I don't think that the majority of people ask themselves those questions. And that's why there's a lot of miscommunication, because the point of the conversation is, like, unknown to the other person.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that sentiment. To all the women I've ever talked over, excluding the two women here and my wife, and anyone I'm related to by blood or friends with, I want to say something.
Why excluding us?
No, I want to say something that is from my heart. And I want you to remember that I said the women here, my family members, the women in the chat that I'm familiar with. You just wasn't saying nothing interesting, and I had to step into the gap and keep the motherfucking conversation.
Oh my fucking God.
I had to Charlemagne the God that.
I thought you was about to say something poignant.
No, honestly, Davinci, when you said this, I was like, I can accept this. I think this is a tried, tested, and true. The only pushback I have for it was not actually for the subject, but something that came up in regards to research panels. And I think you'll understand this. I sometimes get upset when people on both sides of the conversation present these skewed or very small sample size research panels as if they're fact. And that's just not the way research is supposed to be handled in the conversation. It's supposed to have a variable analysis research before we really start looking at it as fact. Would you agree or disagree?
Oh, no, I definitely agree, which is why I came with, like, 4 other studies and the European Journal of Psychology, something in this liquor. I'm stumbling over my words now. But yeah, that's why I brought 4 other studies with different variables, different sample sizes, and the Journal of Psychology, which has multiple sources because it's at least 30 pages long, the segment that they're going on about this particular topic. So
So, Cincy, do you think this is mostly black men over talking women? Because it's, Beck's named us too. So we're just out here, me and you, just cutting women off while they talking. That's what she said.
I named you
Absolutely
two.
not.
You two are the men that I deal with on a regular basis. So.
When are you going to repent of your ways, Cincy?
Huh? Say repent? Say repent? What are we repenting? Come on,
when are you going to change your hotep screaming ways over talking these poor women? Any accountability you want to take in this whole thing?
I'm generally very quiet until you get me riled up.
He was really, now in his defense, he was extremely quiet, Bex. You started asking him a lot of questions while he was drinking. And you remember, historically, I tried to get him out of that call.
What call is this?
Since you remember what call I'm talking about?
Oh man, there's so many calls.
This is right.
Yes, I do know exactly what call you're talking about now.
It doesn't matter what questions I ask him, he's gonna go on his little Cincy rants regardless. So it don't got nothing to do with me.
This is true. This is why I stay quiet, because I end up going on rants.
That's
I don't know. I kind of enjoy the little Cincy rants. They're cool.
That's what we keep telling them. They're amazing, man. I just sit back and I turn my headphones all the way up so I don't miss anything, and it's freaking amazing. And that's y'all motherfuckers shut the fuck up and let these women talk. All right, not let women be more forceful too. Jordan Peterson did a story. Wait, am I allowed to say that name? Okay, I'll say it.
I don't like him. I think he's the dumb man, smart man, but like that's just me.
No, I think a lot of dumb men are attracted to his ideas, and they don't fully understand what it is he's saying. Because he, in one video, he took a clear shot at the red pill movement. And when they asked him about it, it was almost as if they had told him about the dumbest thing on the internet. And you should have seen Jordan Peterson's face. He's like, huh? Wait, what? They're saying what? And they're blaming women for what inadequacies? But I think he would agree with the summarizing of this data, man. But in interpersonal relationships, man, I'm telling you right now, like, sometimes with my wife, I just sit there, and it's gotten me in trouble recently. I just sit there and I'm like, okay, I'm just listening. That's what I'm doing, and then.
So you don't say anything after the fact, like after she's finished talking?
Nope, because women's voices matter, Bex, and I don't speak unless she tells me it's time to speak.
Also, I think it's kind of crazy because when women, you said be more forceful. I am the definition of forceful. If you've ever been to one of my lives and there are people on my calls, if I'm not done speaking yet and they try to speak over me, I'm like, I'm sorry, did the middle of my sentence interrupt the beginning of yours? And say things like that. There are women who are really forceful with the fact that they're not done saying what they have to say yet. And then what is said about them at large? What is the narrative about me at large? It's that I'm a bitch,
So let me deal with that. Let me deal with that one. And this is going to sound rude to some gentlemen, but not bothersome to me. The women that you would call loud and boisterous and bitches, but whatever the stereotype is, the reason why I don't have a problem navigating those waters is because I'm just like, all right, well, make your point. I have no problem with that. I just expect everyone to come into the conversation assuming that I'm treating them as an intellectual equal until they prove otherwise, right? You know what I'm saying? So I want to hear your points. We got to make ground rules for the conversations, just like you make ground rules for a date. One of the things you and I used to struggle with, DaVinci, I couldn't see your face. You know what I'm saying? And there was a pause, and then I would start talking, and I had started learning your rhythms and stuff. And then now sometimes I just cut you off because I'm like, no, I want to make this point. You're going off point. But I don't get mad at women for being as boisterous as me. The only time it bothers me is when it's in an attacking motion and I haven't done anything wrong. And then I have that same response with men. I'm like, are you attacking me? Are you screaming at me? What's your point? But that's not exclusive to women. I have that same response for men. You raise your voice at me. You just told me that it's okay for me to raise my voice at you, because I assume if you're doing that and you're beating your chest over there, then you have the wherewithal to take whatever comes back your way.
I don't think that I was talking about you, because I think that we have a fairly respectful relationship. Like, everybody on this call has been nothing but respectful of me as a person, but I'm talking in large. Like, you're able to see at any given time the atmosphere that's taken when, like, I come into a room on Spoon or any other like chat type place where like people already know me and there's a reputation about me. And the attitude is, oh, don't let me say something because she's a bitch and she'll say something back.
No, that wasn't my point. I know you weren't talking about me. I'm talking about in regards to, like, you know, the guys who say that stuff about women. Like, for me, let me try to rephrase it. For me, it doesn't bother me if a woman is quote unquote boisterous or, you know, any of that stuff. I guess I'm trying to frame it for both men and women. Like, we have to make some agreements on a conversation, right? You know, it's like, if I raise my voice at you, then I should expect that you're going to reciprocate that energy. And that's why, you know, we should try to keep it even kill. The only reason I say women be more forceful, I'm not saying that you deserve to be, you know, demeaned or anything like that, but continue to beat your chest and say it with your chest. There's one thing that I really disagree with in regards to the red pill, is that they confuse femininity with being docile, and they confuse submissiveness with them being able to talk down to a woman. Just because a woman's in her feminine energy doesn't mean she doesn't have opinions on things, right? And doesn't mean that she's not going to state her opinion and state it the way that she needs to state it. I would empower women. I'm like, yeah, you have a point you want to make. They're talking over you. Say it with your chest. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but you're saying that without, like, well, I don't think that you're not aware of the ramifications of those actions, but I don't think that you're aware of the weight of that, like, because there is a weight that comes with being commonly associated as a bitch. You know what I mean? And so there are the way that people treat somebody that they already assume is a bitch because of like this, because their ability to speak out for themselves is completely different, and the conversation dynamic is completely different when there's already like a mental association with this person being a bitch. And so I feel like that's why a lot of women don't speak up in conversations, because the weight of being associated as a bitch is kind of heavy. Like, it's hard to speak about anything that you may be emotional about when they've already come to the conclusion that you're a bitch.
No, I get that. I get that part. I'm saying then it requires you hardening yourself, because at some point you either concede to the fact that you're going to allow them to push this false narrative on you, which is a false narrative, right? If you are not a bitch, then you should not have to live under the weight of being considered a bitch because you have an opinion. But at a certain point, you don't need to be agreeable with hostile people. That's the part I'm saying. Once the hostility comes, I don't need to be agreeable anymore. And I would teach women to do the same thing. You don't need to be agreeable when people are being hostile towards you. Now, whatever parameters you follow and discourse, that's up to you, but free yourself. Because the one reason men are willing to be boisterous is because they don't care how you take it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason we speak to each other the way we do. It's like, I don't care how you feel about this. I'm trying to tell you something, brother. And I feel that women aren't losing any feminine energy if they start punching their fist and saying, like, punching their hand and saying, like, I'm trying to tell you something right now. Be free of it. We believe everything else is a social construct. Why not be free of the construct that says that you are a bitch? If there's no validity to it, the weight that comes with having an opinion. Now, I think that is something that gets missed sometimes. Like, you have a contrarian opinion or you have a controversial opinion, there's going to be weight associated with it. How much does it mean to you, though? I'm not asking you. I know you're going to step into
I think that's right, because I think that that's a privileged position to take, because you're a part of the demographic that is responsible for a lot of the conversations that are taken seriously. Like,
a black man?
Like, no, a man.
Well,
even
okay, go ahead.
like if the men in my department thought that that I was the bitch, then they wouldn't include me in a lot of the things or a lot of the studies or a lot of the conversations about important topics that like gain notoriety. They wouldn't include me in a conversation about a study and everything like that when those things could advance my career. You know? So because they thought that I was a bitch, they wouldn't include me in things that would further their career and would further my career as well, you know?
No, I get what you're saying, but at a certain point, how does being falsely agreeable help at all? Because that's a pathology that would cause you more harm, I would think. So if you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, which is I can either be falsely agreeable and then that has psychological damage on me, versus I can be true and stand up for myself, I would, you know what I'm saying, why not take the latter? Well, I mean, why not stick up for yourself is what I'm saying. I'm not forcing women to do anything. I'm saying you should, and in no way, shape, or form should you feel ashamed about standing up for yourself, because it already sounds like these people are victimizing you. So then you have the right to respond appropriately.
I think what I was saying is that they'll exclude you from positions or conversations that will further your career or advance, like you'll be able to make a livelihood off of it, like monetarily wise. Like they'll exclude you from things that can further your career. So that's why a lot of the times women are falsely agreeable, because like they understand at the end of the day, there is a bottom line. You still have to make money. And if your boss thinks that you're a bitch because you speak out for yourself, then he's not going to give you opportunities to advance.
And this is why I'm saying I can relate to it. It's not a position of privilege, because if, you know, when I used to live in terror of being considered the angry black man, until I realized the reason I was getting put in certain situations is because I wouldn't stand up for myself. And I'm not saying that that's going to be uniformly what every woman has to do in every situation. Obviously, I don't want you to endanger your employment. And I would say that to a young black man or any person. But there came a point where I was just like, no, there's nothing about me that's being disagreeable when I say that I put in plenty of notice in regards to this project and you didn't respond. And because it fell flat, that's your fault, not mine. You know what I'm saying? And I won't be silenced or shushed as the angry black man, quote unquote, because I'm standing up for myself. But I 100% get where you're coming from. It's a rock. It's a hard place to be in. I just want to say I don't have much privilege to make. I've been trying to cash in my privilege card, and I just can't seem to get any capital out of it.
Oh no, yeah, I don't think that like you're privileged in general. Like maybe you got a little bit because you're a man and you benefit from the patriarchal structure, but like as a black man, you do face a lot of things. Not saying that at all. I'm not trying to take that away from you.
I know you weren't. The real villain here is Cincy.
What? What?
What are your thoughts, Cincy? How would you help women in this situation, or what advice would you give?
Sorry, I had it on mute. Yeah, I'm not sure. Why'd you just call me out, though? Because I stay quiet when it's time to stay quiet. Promote them as much as I can. I mean, I try to do that. I mean, there's at some points, like if we're talking about in the workplace, you could stick up for them, but it's only so much as like one person I could do. You know, I can call out a wrong when it's wrong, and I'm not afraid to take that risk. And you know, but I mean, geez, we're talking about a whole way that an entire group of people think and operate. If we're starting with just men, and I just do my individual part.
I feel that.
And that's what's up.
And we thank you for your service.
Yeah.
What you eating over there, Bex? It sounds like you eating on something.
I'm sorry, I had to go make me a sandwich. I'm starving.
Same.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. All right, let's get the hell out of here, man. So, folks, you heard it here first, man. Cincy is going to completely discredit my worldview, and Bex is, minding her black girl business and making tippity tapping with her nails on her drink glass. We love Tipsy DeVinky. This has been another episode of Dope Dynamics. You guys, especially DeVinky, you need to come through for Dumbing Out. Me and Cincy are having so much fun over there. Bex feels like she's being excluded from the conversation, and I'm starting to feel like we're gonna get some letter, and they're gonna be people picketing and shit outside of the office. So Cincy already went and got a lawyer on retainer. I think his exact words were, "I ain't scared," and I was like, "Thank you, brother," because I was terrified.
Y'all aren't getting nothing else from me. I'm in school. I have a full-time job, and I do shows. I'm not doing nothing else.
No, you ain't gonna come through. You just gotta come listen to me and Cincy say the wildest shit you've ever heard on the internet. But I think we make some valid
I'll be at work.
Put it on for the people. You know what I'm saying?
You're trying to get me fired.
Cincy, you wanna shout anything else? Take us out of here, man.
Yeah, let's get up out of here. We got Wednesday. I got to start remembering the days of the week better. We got Thursday tomorrow heading up. Power Love Latinas. Oh man, I really enjoy that show. I can't wait for it tomorrow. With Friday, we got Enough Said Radio. We also got Booty Poppin' Shakin' Friday. I fully plan on killing it. Let's see. I hate being sober. Hope all you guys are having a great evening and enjoying whatever drinks you guys are drinking.
We love you, Cincy. We love you so much, man. From the bottom of my heart, man. Let's get the hell out of here. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming through. All the love and support. Peace.